Have you ever wondered what's the buzz about bees? Well, let us tell you, these little critters are more than just a nuisance at your summer picnic. Bees are the unsung heroes of our ecosystem, and they've been working hard for millions of years to keep our planet blooming. Did you know that bees can fly over 30 kilometers per hour? That's faster than the average speed limit in a school zone. And they're not just fast, they're also smart. Bees have a complex social structure and can communicate with each other through a variety of dance moves. Who knew bees were such good dancers? As we mentioned earlier, bees are not just important pollinators, but they also have a complex social structure and hierarchy within their hives. In fact, the organization of a bee colony is so intricate and fascinating that we could make into its own video. From the queen bee who lays all the eggs, to the worker bees who do everything from foraging for nectar to cleaning the hive, every bee has a specific role to play in the survival of the colony. And the way they communicate with each other to coordinate their tasks is truly remarkable. Did you know that bees use a dance called the waggle dance to communicate the location of food sources to their fellow hive members? By shaking their bodies in a specific pattern and direction, bees can convey both the distance and direction of a food source, as well as its quality. It's like they have their own language. But that's not all. The queen bee has a unique role in the hive as the only member capable of laying eggs, and she can lay up to 2,000 eggs per day. The worker bees, on the other hand, are responsible for everything from building the hive to foraging for food, and they work tirelessly to ensure the survival of the colony. And did you know that male bees, known as drones, don't actually do any work in the hive? Their sole purpose is to mate with the queen, after which they die. Talk about living fast and dying young. Overall, the life of bees is nothing short of amazing, and it's no wonder that people have been fascinated by these tiny creatures for centuries. Maybe in the future we'll create a video dedicated solely to exploring the intricate social structure and organization of bee colonies. But for now, let's continue our exploration of bees and their importance in our world. Honey is not just a delicious natural sweetener, it's also a powerful antioxidant and has antibacterial properties. But how do bees turn the watery nectar into thick, sticky honey? It's all about dehydration and storage. After the bees collect the nectar, they bring it back to the hive and pass it on to other worker bees. The bees then spread the nectar out into thin layers and fan their wings over it, which evaporates the water and makes the nectar thicker. Once the nectar is thick enough, the bees store it in wax cells in the honeycomb. To prevent the honey from absorbing moisture, the bees cover the cells with wax caps. This process of dehydration and storage allows honey to have an almost infinite shelf life. In fact, honey has been found in ancient Egyptian tombs and is still edible after thousands of years, although we don't recommend trying it. Pollen is a rich source of protein and other nutrients, making it an essential part of the bee's diet. As bees gather nectar and pollen from flowers, they transfer pollen between plants, allowing for fertilization and the production of seeds and fruits. Collected pollen is mixed with nectar, enzymes, and saliva to create bee bread, which is stored in the hive as a food source. The bee bread is then consumed by the adult bees and fed to the developing larvae. Interestingly, bees also collect another substance from plants called propolis, which they use to seal gaps and cracks in the hive. Propolis is a sticky substance made from tree resin and other plant materials, and it has antibacterial and antifungal properties. They use propolis to protect the hive from outside threats and to maintain a clean and healthy living environment for themselves and their young. For most people, the thought of being stung by a bee is enough to make them run for cover. Actually, sting of a bee is a fascinating defense mechanism that bees use to protect themselves and their hive. Bees have a specialized structure at the end of their abdomen called a stinger. The stinger is made up of a sharp, barbed tip that can pierce through skin and inject venom into the victim. So why do bees sting in the first place? Contrary to popular belief, bees don't go around stinging people for no reason. They are actually quite docile and will only sting if they feel threatened or their hive is in danger. When a bee stings, it releases a pheromone that signals to other bees in the hive that there is a threat present. This pheromone can cause other bees to become aggressive and attack the perceived threat as well. Interestingly, the act of stinging is fatal for the bee. When a bee stings a mammal, the barbed stinger gets stuck in the skin, and the bee is unable to remove it. As the bee tries to fly away, the stinger and venom sac are ripped out of its body, causing the bee to die shortly afterward. However, this isn't the case with all types of bees. Some species, like the bumblebee, have smooth stingers and can sting multiple times without dying. The venom contains a variety of compounds, including histamine, dopamine, and melittin, which can cause pain, swelling, and even allergic reactions in some people. Also, bee venom contains substances that have been found to have anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antiviral properties. In fact, bee venom therapy has been used for centuries. The venom is collected by expert beekeepers who use a special collector to encourage bees to sting a glass surface, from which the venom can then be extracted and stored. The short answer is yes. One of the major threats is the use of pesticides. Pesticides are chemicals used to kill insects that damage crops. Unfortunately, pesticides not only kill the harmful insects, but they also harm beneficial insects like bees. When bees come in contact with pesticides, it affects their ability to navigate and communicate with other bees, which can lead to their death. Another threat to bees is habitat loss. With the expansion of urban areas, natural habitats are being destroyed. Bees require flowers and plants to survive, and without them, their populations decline. Climate is another factor that is affecting bee populations. With changes in temperature and rainfall patterns, the timing of flower blooms is changing. This can make it difficult for bees to find the flowers they need to survive. Finally, diseases and parasites are also contributing to the decline of bee populations. Example is the varroa mite, a parasitic mite that feeds on bee blood and weakens the bees' immune systems. This mite has devastated bee populations in many parts of the world. One of the most well-known diseases affecting bees is called colony collapse disorder, also known as CCD. This phenomenon causes entire colonies of bees to disappear seemingly overnight, leaving behind only a few adult bees and an abundance of honey and pollen. The exact cause of CCD is unknown, but it is believed to be linked to a combination of factors, including pesticides, habitat loss, and stress from transportation. Other diseases and parasites that affect bees include nosema, a fungal infection that affects the bee's digestive system, and American foulbrood, a bacterial disease that destroys the brood of a hive. So next time you see a bee buzzing around, take a moment to appreciate all that they do and the incredible lives they lead. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more informative and engaging videos that you'll love. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.